My child, I need you to breathe for a moment and really open your heart, because what I'm about to say is not ordinary. This isn't just a message. This is a pull in your spirit that you can feel even now as your eyes move across these words. Something inside you has been uneasy today. You felt it, didn't you? A strange heaviness, a sudden worry, a sense that something unseen was shifting. You didn't know why, you didn't know where it was coming from, but your spirit felt the tremble of something approaching. And now you're here, reading this, because heaven needed you to arrive at this exact moment. Nothing you are hearing right now is random, nothing is accidental. Heaven has been trying to get your attention, and finally you stopped long enough to feel it. Listen closely. There is something moving toward your life tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Before the sun rises again, something will unfold that was meant to break you. The air around your home may even feel different, thicker, heavier, almost like time itself is holding its breath. That's because a story has been developing behind your back, a story connected to someone who carries your blood, someone whose heartbeat is tied to yours, and heaven is pulling back the curtain so you can see what was hidden. This is about your son. Yes, your son. The one who walks with the innocence of someone who trusts too easily. The one who moves through the world believing danger always stays far away. The one you have prayed for, cried for, and carried in your heart since the day he entered this world. He has no idea that his name is being whispered in a place it should never be. He has no idea that tonight was designed to be the night his story ended. And he has no idea that someone close to him, someone he should have been safe with, has entered into a darkness that was never meant to live inside your home. Your son is unaware of the plot forming around him. Right now, as you read this, he may be tying a shoelace, scrolling his phone, adjusting a shirt, or thinking about where to go next. He feels normal. He feels calm. He feels untouched by anything dangerous. But what he cannot see is the shadow waiting in the next few hours, a shadow created by a heart that allowed jealousy to bloom into something poisonous. The danger is not coming from an outsider. It is not coming from someone distant. It is coming from someone who has shared meals with your family, someone who has laughed in the same home, someone who has held on to secrets in silence, someone he trusted. This person's heart did not begin in hatred. That is the saddest part. It began with envy. It began with a quiet desire for what your son has. Maybe something as simple as the way people love him, the way his presence brightens a room, or an opportunity he did not realize was rare. Whatever the reason, that desire began to twist. It began to warp their spirit. Jealousy turned into resentment. Resentment turned into darkness. And tonight, that darkness has turned into action. But listen carefully. You are not reading this because darkness is winning. You are reading this because heaven is interfering. While someone was planning in silence, heaven has been preparing in secret. While someone was setting a trap, heaven was positioning protection. While someone thought they could end your son's future quietly, heaven has decided that tonight will not be a night of loss. It will be a night of revelation. I want you to picture your son for a moment. Imagine him alone in a small room with a soft hum of evening around him. Maybe he's fixing his hair or tightening his shoes. Maybe he's thinking about what snack to grab or which friend to text. The room feels peaceful to him. Nothing feels wrong, but his spirit feels something. A small pressure in his chest, a slight dizziness he brushes off. A sudden pause that he cannot explain. That is the spiritual world pressing against the physical. That is danger trying to enter, but heaven blocking it from fully taking hold. As he moves, there is someone else moving too, someone heaven has nudged, a neighbor, a passerby, someone who normally keeps to themselves, someone who doesn't usually pay much attention. But tonight, heaven has stirred them. They feel an urge they cannot explain, a pull to knock on a door, a sudden worry for no logical reason. They don't know why, but heaven does. Their knock will interrupt the plan meant to silence your son's path. Their interruption will become the sound that cracks open the lies. Their presence will become the moment heaven steps into time. Your son will open the door trying to act normal, but his body will reveal more than his words. The confusion in his eyes, the tremble in his hands, the uneasiness in his breath, these small signs will be enough for someone with eyes opened by heaven. They will call for help, they will act quickly, and in doing so, they will stop what darkness tried to finish. My friend, this is not fear speaking. This is warning becoming rescue. This is heaven turning the weapon of the enemy back toward the one who crafted it. This is God stepping into a moment meant for death and rewriting it into a moment of deliverance. If you are reading this right now, I want you to comment, "My son is covered on this video," not for algorithm tricks, but because speaking it out loud becomes a declaration over his life. It becomes a spiritual agreement with what heaven is already doing. My child, listen closely again, because the moment you have stepped into is not ordinary. What is unfolding around your son right now isn't just happening in the physical world. There is a spiritual current moving beneath every second, every breath, every thought he has. Heaven is not simply watching, heaven is intervening. Earlier, the heaviness you felt was your spirit touching the edge of a danger that had already been formed. But what you are feeling right now, the subtle lift, the calming undercurrent, the strange courage rising inside you, is the evidence that heaven has stepped into that danger and begun to dismantle it piece by piece. Your son is entering the silent battlefield. This battlefield does not shout. It does not roar. It does not shake the ground the way human battles do. This one fights through thoughts, through choices, through timing, through impulses. The enemy planned to use silence as its weapon, to move quietly enough that no one would notice until it was too late, but the Lord says that heaven has stepped into that silence with a force the enemy cannot duplicate. The angels surrounding your son are not passive observers. They are standing guard with purpose. One is on his left, one on his right, and one behind him, forming a divine triangle around him, creating a shield that darkness cannot pass. Even now, he may feel something he cannot explain. Perhaps he paused before picking something up. Perhaps he hesitated before walking out the door. Perhaps he felt the urge to sit down for a moment without knowing why. Those small hesitations are not random. Heaven is bending his timing, slowing his steps, interrupting the rhythm that the enemy was counting on. The plan against him was set to a precise moment, a specific alignment of minutes and movements. But heaven is shattering that alignment. Heaven is scattering the enemy's calculations. Heaven is pushing his footsteps into safety. Earlier, the enemy tried to place a heaviness on your son, a heaviness that came with sudden tiredness, unexplained confusion, or a foggy mind. That heaviness was not physical, it was spiritual. It was meant to weaken his defenses, to make him vulnerable, to cloud his awareness. But the Lord says that heaviness is breaking right now. You may not see it with your eyes, but you can feel something cracking in the unseen. It is like chains snapping one link at a time. It is like shadows pulling back from a light they cannot withstand. Your son may begin to feel clarity returning to him without knowing where it came from. He may suddenly breathe deeper, like something is lifting off his chest. He may feel the fog clearing from his thoughts. That is heaven cleansing him. That is heaven washing away the residue of the enemy's touch. That is heaven declaring, "This one belongs to me." Right now, the night around him is shifting. The spiritual world is adjusting its alignment. Heaven is rearranging what the enemy tried to position. The atmosphere is being rewritten to match the decree heaven has spoken over his life. Even now, things are being rearranged, something he forgot in another room, a message he receives at the last second, a small delay that frustrates him for a moment. But each delay is a shield. Each pause is divine protection. Each distraction is heaven pulling him away from the point where danger was waiting. There are 3 locations he was supposed to cross tonight, 3 places where danger could have reached for him. But each one of those doors has been sealed. Heaven has shut them with a force no enemy can undo. Your son may feel like he is wandering, but he is being guided. He may feel like he is indecisive, but heaven is choosing for him. He may feel like he is unsure, but heaven is directing his steps. Tonight was supposed to be the night the enemy took something precious from you. This was meant to be a night of mourning, a night of confusion, a night where your world shattered without warning. But God has interrupted the script. God has reversed the assignment. God has torn up the ending the enemy wrote. And now the night is shifting into something entirely different. This is no longer the night of danger. This is the night of deliverance. This is the night heaven stood between your son and death. This is the night the unseen became your greatest protector. Your prayers did not fall to the ground. Every whisper, every silent cry, every moment you prayed out of fear or hope collided with the enemy's plan like lightning. And when your prayers struck the darkness collapsed. Heaven released judgment over every spirit assigned to your son. They retreated instantly, the way shadows retreat the moment a light is turned on. The enemy lost the moment you prayed. The enemy lost the moment heaven stepped in. The enemy lost the moment your spirit said, "No more." And now, as these hours continue, your son is being gently pushed into safety. Every choice he makes tonight will carry the fingerprints of heaven. He may walk a different route. He may speak to someone unexpected. He may feel drawn toward or away from certain places. All of this is heaven guiding him. Your son will not die, not tonight, not tomorrow, not by the hand of the enemy, not by the trap that was meant to steal him. Heaven has stepped into this night and declared life over him. If you are watching this right now, comment "Heaven is protecting my son tonight" as a declaration of faith. Your words carry power. Your engagement strengthens this message and pushes it further to those who need it. My child, listen once more, because heaven is still moving, and what is happening around your son tonight is entering its most delicate stage. The spiritual world does not shift in silence without purpose. When heaven rewrites a destiny, everything connected to that destiny must adjust accordingly. Right now, the atmosphere surrounding your son is being rearranged, not in chaos, but in divine precision. The path he walks, the moments he pauses, the thoughts he has, the people he is drawn toward or away from, none of it is random. Heaven is orchestrating every detail like a careful conductor guiding a symphony, ensuring each note lands exactly where it must. Your son believes he is just going through another night. He thinks he is simply living. He has no idea that a battle is unfolding around him, a battle he cannot see, a battle that was supposed to swallow him whole. But God has stepped into that battlefield with authority that cannot be challenged. The enemy had marked your son for an ending tonight, crafting a plan with quiet cruelty, calculating each step with cold precision. But what the enemy did not anticipate was the power of your prayer, the strength of your spirit, and the timing of heaven's intervention. Even now, as your son takes each step, an invisible shield follows him. His thoughts may feel like they are softening. His impulses may be slowing. His emotions may feel strangely calm. That is heaven placing a divine hand on his mind, adjusting his timing so that danger misses him. What was once supposed to happen in a specific window has now been thrown into confusion. The enemy's timing relied on your son moving a certain way, at a certain pace, toward a certain place. But heaven has shattered that script. Heaven has rearranged his internal rhythm, creating divine delays that stop him from stepping into the snare that was prepared for him. These delays may look like small inconveniences. Maybe he misplaced something and went back for it. Maybe he changed his mind about where to go. Maybe he felt the urge to stay inside a little longer. Maybe someone unexpectedly texted him. But every one of these moments is a whisper from heaven saying, "Not that way, not that moment, not that trap." Heaven is turning confusion into protection. Heaven is turning hesitation into deliverance. Heaven is turning what looks like minor detours into major shields. Tonight, the enemy is frustrated. Darkness is not retreating quietly. It is retreating with anger, with disarray, with plans collapsing faster than it can rebuild them. But you must not fear this movement. You are not feeling the shaking of danger. You are feeling the shaking of the enemy's defeat. What once felt like a threat is now turning into evidence of victory. Heaven has entered the battlefield, and the enemy knows it has lost. The Lord says that He is touching your son beyond what the physical eye can observe. He is touching his memory, healing the places where confusion once took root. He is touching his emotions, lifting the sadness he never spoke out loud. He is touching the wounded places inside him, cleansing the quiet fears he carried alone. Heaven is filling him with a peace he cannot explain. Even though he does not realize what is happening, he will soon feel different, lighter, clearer, more aware, more stable. This is heaven restoring him from the inside out. Tonight was supposed to be the night your son's life ended, but instead, it is the night heaven declared new beginnings. It is the night a death assignment was rewritten into a destiny awakening. It is the night your son stepped out of the grip of darkness and into the arms of divine protection. In the coming days, he will begin to feel clarity rising within him like a sunrise breaking through fog. His thoughts will sharpen. His heart will feel calmer. His decision-making will feel stronger. This is not coincidence. This is deliverance. This is restoration. This is the residue of heaven's touch lingering in his spirit. Your son's future is shifting. The path that was almost stolen from him is being returned. Opportunities that were meant for him will open again. Relationships that drained him will fade out of his life. Choices that led him toward darkness will begin losing their pull. He will start gravitating toward peace, toward purpose, toward truth. Heaven is realigning him. But now, God speaks directly to you. The words you speak over your son in this season carry unusual power. Your voice is a weapon. Your blessings are a shield. Your prayers are armor. Every time you whisper strength, heaven reinforces it. Every time you speak life, heaven amplifies it. Every time you declare peace, heaven commands it to settle over him. Tonight, your voice matters more than you realize. Do not allow fear to return. Do not let your mind replay what could have happened. Do not give power to the darkness that has already been defeated. Heaven has sealed this victory with peace, not fear. And when you settle into peace, heaven completes its work around your son. If this message is touching your spirit right now, comment, "My son will rise," as a declaration of faith. Your engagement helps this message reach those who need it, and your words become a spiritual agreement with what heaven is doing. Listen carefully now, because what is happening in this part of the message is the deepest movement heaven has made so far. Everything that has been building up, every warning, every intervention, every unseen battle, has led to this exact moment. Heaven is not only rescuing your son from danger, heaven is rewriting the direction of his entire life. What was supposed to be his end is becoming the very doorway to his emergence. The enemy tried to destroy him at the point where his destiny was about to awaken, because darkness always attacks hardest right before a life shifts into purpose. But God has stepped in, not just to save him, but to transform the path ahead of him so that nothing and no one can pull him back into what once threatened to consume him. Right now, heaven is dealing with the roots that created tonight's danger. Not just the circumstances, not just the people involved, but the spiritual openings, the emotional wounds, the patterns that made him vulnerable in the first place. There are old disappointments your son never healed from, memories he carried like quiet scars, and moments that shaped his decisions without him realizing it. He built walls around certain parts of his heart, thinking it was strength, when in truth it was pain disguising itself as independence. Heaven is touching those old places one by one, not with force, but with gentle precision. Healing is entering him in layers, deep, quiet, lasting layers. He does not know it yet, but tonight is the beginning of a new awareness rising inside him. Something in his spirit is being awakened. He will start to feel a shift that he cannot explain, an internal clarity, a subtle rise in strength, a sudden sense of direction beginning to form inside him. He may think he is simply thinking differently, but heaven knows this is his spirit stepping into alignment with what God has planned for him all along. His decisions will start to make more sense. His emotions will feel more balanced. His impulses will weaken. His self-control will strengthen. The chaos that once pulled at him will no longer have the same grip. Heaven is resetting his internal compass. Even the relationships around him are being rearranged. People whose presence created confusion, tension, distraction, or temptation will begin drifting out his life. Not through dramatic fights or sudden explosions, but through quiet distance, misaligned timing, and fading connections. Heaven removes the wrong influences gently so the heart does not cling to what is harmful. New connections will form, not immediately but gradually. People who speak differently, think differently, live differently. People who reflect where he is going, not where he has been. Heaven is guiding him toward individuals who carry peace, wisdom, and stability. People who will strengthen him rather than drain him. Your son's purpose is larger than the battles he has faced. There is something he is meant to become, something he is meant to build, something he is meant to influence, and heaven knows the weight of that purpose. This is why tonight was so fiercely contested. This was not just about his safety, it was about his future. The enemy tried to ambush him at a moment of vulnerability because his destiny was beginning to activate. But heaven intervened with power. And now, the very attack meant to destroy him is turning into the divine moment that will push him into transformation. In the days ahead, you will notice small changes in him that are actually spiritual breakthroughs disguised as ordinary moments. He may pause before making decisions he once rushed into. He may avoid places he used to go without hesitation. He may feel uncomfortable around certain people who once influenced him easily. He may want more quiet, more space, more time alone to think. This is not withdrawal. This is spiritual recalibration. Heaven is helping him hear his own spirit again. Heaven is guiding him back toward himself. There will be moments when you look at him and sense a softness in his expression that wasn't there before, a quietness in his eyes, a calmness in his posture. These are signs that heaven is still working, signs that the danger is not returning, signs that the grip of darkness has been broken. Heaven is not letting your son slip back into anything that once threatened him. The shield around him is not temporary. It is settling into place with permanence. And now heaven speaks to you once more. You are not just witnessing a miracle, you are part of it. Your faith pushed back darkness. Your prayers disrupted the enemy's timing. Your love guarded him when he didn't know he needed protection. The spiritual authority rising in you now is stronger than ever before. Fear will no longer have access to your mind. Anxiety will no longer torment your thoughts. God is settling peace over you like a warm blanket, calming your heart and sealing the victory in your spirit. You will begin to trust more deeply that your son is covered. You will feel heaven's presence when you think of him. You will sense protection when he is away from you. The fear of losing him is being removed from your soul. It will no longer grip your chest. It will no longer wake you at night. Heaven is giving you rest. Heaven is giving you reassurance. Heaven is giving you the peace that comes after war. Your son has crossed the line the enemy hoped he would never reach. He is stepping into a new spiritual chapter. He is entering a restored season. Heaven has claimed him, covered him, and redirected him. Nothing can take him out of the hands of God now. If your spirit feels this truth settling inside you, if your heart is calming even as you read this, write, "My son is protected," as a declaration of agreement.